Hi everybody, this is Osprey from mychartcoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Chinese tech stocks. As you could see here, they were surging on Friday. You had ticker symbol BABA, NIO, JD, IQ, BILI, HUYA, PDD, and BIDU. We're all running and heading higher on Friday. A lot of them are bouncing. They've been in downtrends, and so I'm going to show you the charts for BABA, BIDU, JD, and NIO, but keep in mind the other ones that I just mentioned, they have the same chart patterns. They're all very similar. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's big talk about the meeting with President Trump and President Xi in November in Argentina, and so yeah, we'll see if this can keep the Chinese stocks running next week. So first up, let's take a look at BABA, ticker symbol BABB. Okay, so it's above 30 on our side. This is good. Notice that when it was below 30, that was the load zone. You could see it was down here when it was below 30 following a multi-day run. We were all over this in our premium chat, so congrats everybody. I know that people did well on the BABA call options on the bounce, so congratulations. Way to trade. Yeah, so now it's above 30. It needs to stay above 30. That'll signal that it's heating up, and then it needs to get above 50. As you can see, 50 has been the big resistance zone. Once BABA gets above 50 and can stay above 50, that's when you know the chart's turning bullish again. On RSI, you've got Fasto above 20. Okay, look at the pinch here on plus TI. If that green line crosses over the black line, plus TI over ADX, that'll be a good clue that the bulls are really heating up. Okay, so there's a bounce on Thursday. You could see the white candle that penetrated the previous candle. It had formed the bearish 1, 2, 3 gap downs heading into on the close on Wednesday, and so on Thursday that white candle had confirmed that bearish reversal pattern, and then now you had that gap up open on Friday. There is a small unfilled gap between high of day on Thursday and low of day on Friday, and so the downside risk if EMA4 support fails to hold right here at 145.69, the pink line, it could come down here and fill the gap. That's the downside risk, is a drop down to this second green line, and that would be a gap fill. If BABA were to close back below the pink line, below EMA4 here, that's going to signal the bears are back in control, and the bull call option trade will no longer be in play. That's the stop loss level. It has to keep closing above that level to stay in play for this bounce. Okay, if it closed back below EMA4, then puts would be back in play. As you can see, puts did awesome on the big drop, and so now we're trying to play the bounce here. The black candle, it is a little concerning. It would be better if it was a nice strong white candle. It shows that even though it was up on the day, it closed below the open, so it could have been much more bullish. It hit EMA 8 here at 149 and pulled back, so that's what you want to see break on Monday. It needs to be trading above 149. If it can stay above 149, then you have EMA 13 at 152.42 as the next target. Okay, let's look at BABA on the 15-minute chart. So you can see it had this downtrending channel back here between the 4th and the 9th, and then on the 10th it broke below support on the 10th and 11th. Well, on the 11th, heading into the close, it got back into that channel, and then on Friday the bullish move was the break above the red descending resistance line. So it's trying to break out from above this downtrending channel. So this is a bullish change in trend. You could see after the big gap up open, they did take it sideways. Now notice it's a little bit hard to see on this chart, but notice the second to last close was above that red line. The red line is what we call high close horizontal resistance. Okay, and so that was the big level to break, and the close above that does signal more upside potential, but as you can see, the break above that, close above, does signal more upside, but you could see on the last candle they closed right at that level. So it's going to be all about staying above this basically where the close was, 147.30. And so if it could turn that level into support, the next target's going to be the 200 simple moving average at 149.28. That's going to be the next big level to break. If it can get above this 149 resistance zone, you have the 300 simple moving average up there at 153. And so yeah, BABA's heating up. It has to break resistance and hold support. Let's look at BIDU here. So same thing with BIDU. This was another winner for our chat. So congrats everybody. And so it got back above 30 on RSI. So the chart's heating up. You can see what happened last time. It was below 30, and then it broke above. It had a nice little multi-day run, and so we'll see if that can follow the same type of pattern here. But if it dropped below 30, that that would be a major red flag. You've got Fasto back above 20, plus DI's hooking up here. Similar type of setup here for BIDU. You had a gap up open that created an unfilled gap between high of day on Thursday and low of day on Friday. So a drop down here to 198, that would fill the gap. If it broke below EMA4 at 201.67, that's going to signal downside risk, and that would put that gap fill on tech. Okay, that if you're in calls or you're riding this bounce, you know that's the stop loss level. It has to stay above that level to remain in play. As you can see here, once you get the close below the pink line below EMA4, it's a major risk to hold. So it has to stay above that level for this bounce to continue. 205 is the next big level to break. EMA8, you have 205 and 209 are the two big levels. If it could get above 209, there is an unfilled gap up here between these two candles. So you could see a run up here to this 215, 216 level to fill that gap. Just above that is the middle Bollinger Band at 217. In order to get a new uptrend going, it has to turn that middle Bollinger Band and 50-day simple moving average into support. That's way down the line. Right now, we're just talking about staying above EMA4, holding 201, and breaking above 205. Those are the two big levels to concentrate on Monday. Above 205 signals upside potential. Below 201 signals downside risk. Okay, let's look at BIDU on the 15-minute chart. Very similar pattern. It had the downtrend. I didn't put the trend lines in. I should have done that for you. But it went sideways here, and it did close above the 200 simple moving average. So it needs to stay above 203. If it dropped below 203, that would be a sell signal. Once above a key moving average, it has to stay above. If it breaks below, that signals downside risk. To the upside, if it can break above the high close resistance from the 8th here and get above this 204, 205 level, you're looking at this 206 and 207 as the two big zones to break. If it could get up here and start trading at 207, that's where it could possibly run up here to that 210, 55, 300 simple moving average. That 300 simple moving average is the next target if the red line holds, if it can stay above 203 and break through resistance. Okay, let's look at JD here. So JD had a nice day, closed up 4%. You can see here RSI is heating up. You can see the level that it's at right now. It's at its highest level, since going back here into, what is this, back in August. And so the last time that RSI was at these levels was back here. And so that's a signal the chart's heating up. Okay, you've got Fasto back above 50. Another good sign. You know, JD is a little stronger than BIDU and BABA right now. And so, yeah, you've got the crossover here. Notice how the red line crossed over the black line. Minus DI, the red line, crossed over ADX, the black line. That's a signal that the bears are cooling down. This is a bearish crossover. And it's a signal the bulls with the uptick on plus DI are heating up. And so that's a good sign the chart's trying to heat up here. Now, it's been in a major downtrend. Look how nasty this downtrend is. Notice how, check out the purple line here. Notice how there's no candles above the purple line. The last time it tested this level was back here in August, and it tried to break that level. You can see all the candles hit it, and they failed to close above. Well, you're right back at that level on Friday. You can see the upper wick. It's just like back here in August. And so for a bullish change in trend, it has to close above 25. Okay, if it can close above 25 and turn the middle Bollinger Band into support, a new uptrend could begin. Now there is a micro unfilled gap between high of day on Thursday and low of day on Friday. So if there was a drop below EMA 4 and 8 there, that would be a sell signal, and then you'd look for that gap to fill. You know, if it got down there and filled that gap, you know, it could possibly come back down and test that 2250 support zone. You know, the risk is here, you know, to the downside. You know, that this has been a major, you know, money maker for the bears. You could see, you know, this has just totally been in a downtrend for multiple months, and the only way that it can get a new uptrend going is if that middle Bollinger Band, the 20-day simple moving average, turns into support. So next week, everything's riding on 25. If it can stay above 25, break 25, stay above that level, that's going to signal upside potential. You'd be looking for a possible run up to that 50-day simple moving average at 28.95, and there's also an unfilled gap here, and so that unfilled gap would become a target to the upside. Now if it dropped below 24, this 23.87, 24 support zone, that would be a red flag signaling downside risk. It would be a sell signal. Okay, if you look here on the 15-minute chart, it really heated up. Notice how BIDU was working on the red line, the 200 simple moving average. Well, JD had already turned that into support, and now it's working on the next level, the blue line, the 300 simple moving average. The close above does signal more upside potential. It's currently hitting resistance from back here on the 4th. If it can break above this resistance zone, you've got this gap over here. I should have put in the the trend line or put in the horizontal resistance lines here, but let's see, where's this gap at? You see you got a gap here between the high and the low. It's a very small gap. Let's see. Oh no, actually there's a wick down there. So yeah, that gap is filled. So there's no unfilled gap here on the 15-minute chart for this. Yeah, but the bottom line is that it needs to get above. Let's see here. Did I have that right there? Yeah, so that's a little bit further out. Yeah, that one's a little further out. And so basically it's going to be getting above this 300 simple moving average, turning that level into support, and then if it does, then it could work its way back up to this 25 level. 25 would be the next big level to break above. You know, it's going to be like I said on the daily chart, it's all about 25. And so if it can get above 25 and trade above that level next week, that should be your clue, the key, the signal to stay long and keep riding higher. Okay, let's look at NIO. And if it fails to break 25 when tested, it will be the lock and gain zone. It's the sell zone until resistance breaks and it turns into support. Okay, let's look at NIO here. Closed up 3.9%. And so yeah, you got to admit that they're super cool looking cars. Yeah, they're super nice. NIO has been breaking resistance here, trying to push higher. It has 55 on RSI, so it's in the bull zone. You have Fasto at 64. It's in the bull zone as well. You know, plus DI is at 23, so it's not like it's at 40. It's not at some crazy level. You know, so there's upside potential here. It's just all about holding these moving averages. You can see the dotted purple line, the pink, the orange, and the lime lines are all lined up here. That's the middle Bollinger Band is the 20-day simple moving average, and then you have EMAs 4, 13, and 8 all stacked up right here. And so it's all about staying above the bottom moving average here, above 710, above the EMA 8. If it were to close below that level, below 710, that would signal downside risk. You could see it come back down here and test the all-time low close down here below $6. If the middle Bollinger Band holds currently at 731, you know, this new uptrend could begin. You know, this has basically been under pressure since the 2-day bounce at the start, and then, you know, it pulled back, and then it had a nice bounce last week, and now it's trying to get a new uptrend going. And so it's all about holding these support levels. The key level to break is 775. That's the closing price in the 10th. If it can break that 775 level, then you're looking for a potential run up to the upper Bollinger Band up there. And it does look like you've got an unfilled gap here between low of day on that candle and high of day on that candle. And so you know, the gaps are always, you know, tough levels to break. And so, you know, look for resistance up here just below 850. And so this 840 to 850 zone, when that's tested, it's going to need to break above. So 745, the 840, 850. If it broke above 850 and filled the gap, that would be really bullish, signaling more upside potential. You could see a run back up into the 11s. The all-time high close is up here around 1160. If it fails to break this gap level when tested, that would signal a temporary top. Okay, thanks a lot for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please come check out the chat. All right, thank you.